This is a Tracking the Tropics update with the certified most accurate weather team at First Coast News.
Hurricane Rafael is currently located in the Gulf of Mexico. This after making landfall as a major hurricane over western Cuba. And we're expecting this to continue to track towards the west and slowly weaken out over the next several days. Meanwhile, there's another area that is still given a low chance of development located just towards the north and east of Puerto Rico, but I'm not really having high expectations on that area. So I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. This is Talkin Tropics, and let's break down, the forecast across tropics and how it is still going to be impacting parts of the Gulf Coast, including the first coast around Florida and over towards Georgia here. So let's actually just take a look at the current satellite imagery here. And what we have going on right now, though, as of 10 o'clock here on Thursday morning, is winds of 100 miles per hour. So still a solid Category 2 storm system. But you can see plenty of shear kind of ripping this storm off towards the north and east as it interacts with a passing front. It is expected to still continue to track off towards the west and slowly weaken due to said shear, as well as relatively cooler sea surface temperatures in the northern Gulf of Mexico before it completely weakens out as we go ahead into the early part of next week. Now, with that said, there is still going to be some interactions with another passing front towards the north that could kind of squeeze out that moisture. So this is one of those cases where you look at the center line, you look at the cone of air, but we do want to look at broader ranges of impacts with this storm. And I'll get to that in just a second. Right now, though, as of our Thursday morning, no warnings or watches are no longer in place here across Cuba over towards southwestern Florida. I know Key West was under a tropical storm warning at one point, but that since has backed off. This is a look at satellite and radar imagery. Pretty interesting to still see an eye there on radar from our site out into Key West. It's kind of peering out through those clouds there. But you kind of also see still some passing rain bands in the South Florida. So even though it's well offshore, we still have some scattered showers kicking on by. And with an associated front towards the north, this actually is picking up tropical moisture. The reason why across the first coast, including in the Jacksonville, it has been warm and humid. It's because all that tropical air is being pulled off towards the north. And we can even zoom right in on here. For parts of southeastern Georgia, including around Waycross towards Valdosta, flood warnings were issued here on your Thursday morning, kind of a side effect of this tropical system. And that goes back to what I was just saying. There's not just the center line of these storms, but you still could have kind of those tropical impacts extending over a wide range of areas. And that is the case for a good portion of southeastern Georgia, where we have that heavy rainfall today and still some additional flood threats. Now, I don't expect that type of impact into the Jacksonville area, but what we are going to be seeing is still that chance of some isolated showers, not only for our Thursday, but maybe even heading into Friday and over towards the weekend as we continue to see kind of this air mass set up. But looking at that broader picture, let's get back to where this storm is going to be going and why it's expected to weaken out. You might be thinking, okay, it's in the middle of the Gulf. What's going on here? Typically, we get storms out here, and typically they flare up. Well, that's in the middle of the season. Here in November, we have to deal with these passing fronts that do tend to dip down. And our spaghetti plots really kind of indicate that. It looks like it runs right into a brick wall there. That brick wall is actually this front which is diving in from the north and west. And once that kind of collides with our area of low pressure, it's going to squeeze it out. Now, this particular model actually shifts it towards north. The NHC continues it off towards the west. But the point is, the moisture gets squeezed. This completely gets weakened. So even if it does drift towards the south and west, we're still going to probably see some increase in showers for places like the Louisiana coastline over towards Mississippi and Alabama. And maybe even as we head into Monday evening for parts of northeastern Florida and southeastern Georgia as this front continues to track off there towards the east. And you can kind of see the bifurcation, there's a fun word for you, of the models with the European kind of trudging towards the west, that GFS trying to squeeze it towards north, but both basically indicating this completely weakening out over the Gulf of Mexico. And this is just another look at what I'm talking about with the NHC's track compared to what the GFS is showing, that trend towards the north, but both have this basically whacking right into that front and completely weakening it out once again. So I just want to clarify, this is not expected to make landfall anywhere along the Gulf Coast as a strong hurricane whatsoever. Maybe a weaker low pressure area, but it's going to be really associated more so with a front, which could bring some heavy rainfall in some spots here if this does decide to turn a bit towards the north. But here's a look at the 2024 names so far this season. We have had, 6 major hurricanes thus far, with Rafael being a Cat 3 at this time, which, by the way, also makes it only the 6th Category 3 hurricane in the month of November. 3 of those 6 have taken place since 2020. Take that information as you will, but I can tell you these record warm sea surface temperatures out there are not helping with our early season storms like we've seen with Beryl this year, a Cat 5 in June, and these late season storms like we are seeing here currently with Rafael. And by the way, this is the first year on record where we had a major hurricane in the month of June and also in the month of November. So the hurricane season starts in June, goes out towards November, and this year more than any, you really have to remember that, that hurricane season doesn't end until we kind of get some relatively cooler air spilling in. But for now, we're continuing to track Rafael out here off the west coast of Florida, moving through the Gulf of Mexico. Thanks for watching our firstcoastnews.com here and at First Coast News Plus. Make sure you continue to check back in for more information on FCN Plus, because we not only do these updates, we do all sorts of different news, but of course, continue to track the tropics here for you. So it's another avenue to get this information out to you at home and also on your phone. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. Thanks for stopping by.